not expecting any improvement in a day or something. I heard people do have some improvements even in a day, but like the treatment itself says, need to give at least 3 months to see the actual effects, or even up to 6 months. When I was diagnosed with autism, we were a bit devastated. So we were looking at different options and things like that. We want to explore every kind of options that we want to give to the child. Stem cells therapy came as a latest and more recent advance in the medical technology. We do not want to be in a situation later in the life, oh, we could have given this and that, or those kind of things. If you guys are in the same situation as us, or your kids are in like our child, give it a try. Do not hold off yourself if you can afford, and if you can come and travel. All these factors, all the help will be provided by Swiss Medica.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
First of all, can you tell us a bit about yourself, where are you from, and what diagnosis brought you to Swiss Medica?
Okay, I'm from US in California. So this is about our daughter. She is now 7.5 years old. And she was diagnosed with autism around the age of 3. And she was a normal person until the age of 2.5, but we saw some regressions and things like that. And we happened to hear about the stem cell therapy, and that's how we are here.
Okay. How has it affected to your life when you find out that she has diagnosed with autism?
It was definitely a big impact, right? So we are not expecting when the child is normal until the age of 2.5 and suddenly regression starts. So when it was diagnosed with autism, we were a bit devastated. So we were looking at different options and things like that to make sure she can recover and things like that. Yeah, it was a bit tough.
What symptoms did you notice for the
So the
first time?
first and the foremost thing was the speech were delaying. More than that, she was not speaking. She was losing eye contacts, which she had it very well. And also not following some of the conversations that we were having, which she had it also. So that's the time when we were noticing all these changes.
Yeah, everything turned up
Yes,
in a bad way.
correct.
Okay. Did you try any treatments before you came to the Swiss Medica?
Not really as a treatment, but obviously the classical approaches were therapies, like occupational therapies, speech therapies, and all those kind of things. Yes, we did those things along that line, but obviously we were also hindered by COVID, where we're not able to go in-person therapies and things like that. So it was all through online, which wasn't effective at all. Even after that, we continue with some in-person therapies, including ABA. I wouldn't say there was no benefit, but obviously the way we wanted to see the benefit in the child's life was not there.
Understood. And what was the deciding factor to choose stem cell therapy?
So the two things. First of all, we want to explore every kind of options that we want to give to the child. So we do not want to be in a situation later in the life, oh, we could have given this and that, or those kind of things, obviously. And the second factor was when the research, or the search when we were trying to do related to these different therapies possible, stem cells therapy came as a latest and more recent advance in the medical technology. Obviously, quite a lot of things are in the research phases. The research phase was already trying to, in the research phase, already the results were really good for people. We also talked to some people who went through these procedures. So then why not? So that's the whole reason why we ended up deciding to give it for our child.
Okay. May I ask, what are your expectations for like long term of period after getting the treatment?
So there is definitely a minimum expectation and also potentially um, other expectations, but obviously if I categorize as a priority, one will be life skills for the child. So that is the most important thing, like knowing the surroundings, knowing the safety factors as a person for the child, um, possibly speaking, at least some conversation, um, but then the rest, academic or intellectual or something, but it's not a
To
priority for
get
me now.
more like independent.
Independent, that's why I was telling the life skills, exactly, yes.
Okay. Uh, while you have been here, did you notice any improvements for now, or it was like it was?
Well, the treatment was only done only yesterday and today.
Okay.
So we're not expecting any improvement in a day or something. I heard people do have some improvements even in a day. Um, but in our child's case, we are not expecting that way. But like the treatment itself says, you need to give at least 3 months to see the actual effects, or even up to 6 months. We are ready to wait for that. So far, the experience is good.
Okay. Did you consider any other clinics, um, or you just choose Swiss Medica? And if I can ask,
Yeah.
why did you choose Swiss Medica over other clinics?
So the fact is, we considered a few others. Um, but why is Swiss Medicare um, over the others? That's your question, right? Few factors are like, one, initially this was in Swiss area. This was all generated and created. So that gave us a bit more extra confidence. Um, although the clinic is in Serbia, right? So that was one thing. Um, the second factor was, well, to be honest, we were in EU for 10 years, so that also gave us a bit more attraction towards this. The second factor was, even from the very beginning, the team was very personal with us, um, trying to understand what we need, what are the factors that needs to be incorporated into the total holistic approach, the total scheme of the things, right? Including the travel, accommodation, and what needs to be customized for our daughter, all these kind of things. So the others were like the first call, the second call, just follow up, then nothing. And but over here it was more than that, much more than that actually, and that was the reason that we chose for Swiss Medica.
Tell us a little bit about the staff here. Do you like them? How's everything going with them?
100%, really, we like them.
The food?
First of all, like I said at the beginning, right, they were really close and more on a personal side than the medical side, um, discussing things about our child and ourselves, right? Even from arranging everything, from picking up in the airport or the food or anything, right? So we don't have to worry about any of those situations. It's everything arranged. Um, I know there is an accommodation inside, but we are residing outside the Swiss Medica accommodation. But still, even then, and that was for a different reason. Even then, we didn't have to worry about anything, moving around or coming to the hospital or um, anything. So even for the food for our daughter, special food, right? Um, in this case, it was a raw salmon. We need to have it, and that was arranged. So that was perfect.
Nice to hear that. And for the last questions, for the last question, we always like to ask, like, do you have some advice or insight for people that have like the same conditions for the same for the
As an
parent.
as an advice,
Yeah, as a parent to other parents.
um, yeah, I would say, um, if you guys are in the same situation as us, or your kids are in, like our child, um, give it give it give it a try. Do not hold off yourself if you can afford, and if you can, come and travel. All these factors, all the help will be provided by Swiss Medica. I know that, um, so that it will help your child future to be independent. um, don't want to be in a situation yourself regretting, oh, we could have given this at an earlier age. It is an evolving, um, medical technology. We all know that. But so far, um, having spoken to you guys as well, and also to others who experience it, and also outside, other people who was not with, specifically with Swiss Medica, but any everywhere else, right? Um, they don't see any reactions or any adverse effects on this one. But adding the factor that Swiss Medica is more closer to the personalization of that treatment, I would advise to seriously consider Swiss Medica, uh, for the child as well.